Hello class. Now today when you guys walked in, I had you guys raise your hand and tell me if any of you guys had heard about the novel Night, written by Eli Wiesel. And some of you guys had heard about it. You guys read it in your English classes, so I'm glad some of you guys were introduced to it. And then I had you guys write me a small little summary about, hey, what have you learned about the Holocaust after everything that you have read or saw, like the YouTube videos, the readings in your textbook, the supplemental readings that I've had you guys do in pairs. And a lot of you guys came up with really good ideas. But today I wanted to go with something deeper. I actually wanted to introduce you guys to some of primary sources that have to do with the Holocaust, and Eli Wiesel is one of them. He wrote a great novel, autobiography, in which he wrote about his experience in a concentration camp. And again, a concentration camp, of course, is where Jews were being exterminated and killed by the Nazi. And you guys have been exposed to that through videos, as I've said. Now, I want to read a small excerpt from his novel in which I think captures a lot of what he's going through. And as I'm reading, I want you guys to synthesize everything that you guys have learned and analyze this piece. How can you relate it to stuff that you already been exposed to? How can it relate to you as a person, even though this happened 60 years ago? How does it relate to the world you live in today? Okay, so I want you guys to be doing all of that. So I need you guys to really have your keep thinking caps on, but I know you guys can do it. So let's begin. Okay, this is just a small little paragraph from his whole novel, but I think it captures a really important and great emotions that you guys need to learn how to analyze as historians. So, okay. Never shall I forget that night, the first night in camp. Now let's stop there for a second. When he says camp, is he referring to a hiking camp where he gets to sleep at night, or is he talking about something else? Remember, when we think about the Holocaust and we hear the word camp, we know that it's referring to exactly concentration camps. Okay? So never shall I forget that night, the first night in camp, which has turned my life into one long night. 7 times cursed and 7 times sealed. Never shall I forget that smoke. Now he meant to smoke. Why would Eli Wiesel be seeing smoke from a concentration camp? I got it. He's seeing smoke because what are they doing to Jewish people in these camps? They're not only labor camps, they're also extermination camps. Okay? And how are they killing these people? Exactly. Gas chambers. So when you hear, never shall I forget that smoke, Eli's referring to that smoke that he sees from millions of people being killed through gas chambers. Okay? So let's continue to read. Never shall I forget that little faces of the children whose bodies I saw turned into wraps of smoke beneath a silent blue sky. Never shall I forget those flames which consumed my faith forever. Again, when he's referring to flames, he's referring to the gas chambers. Okay, and he's saying, which consumed my faith forever. And I really want you guys to think, what does that mean? Well, let's continue to read because you guys will find out. Never shall I forget the control silence which deprived me for all eternity of the desire to live. Okay, so what does he mean by that? What does he mean by when he says, deprived me for all eternity of the desire to live? Now at this point, do you guys feel that he wants to live? Think about it. What can be happening in your life to make you think that, hey, maybe it's not worth living? Okay, this is where you get to connect it to you. Has there ever been a moment in which you doubted everything that you believed in? Just something to think about. Okay, so let's continue. Never shall I forget those moments which murdered my God and my soul and turned my dreams into dust. Again, let's go back to the whole doubting. Here you have a person who apparently is doubting something that he believes in. So I ask you, has there been a moment like that in your life? Do you know of anybody who's felt that way? If you haven't, This is where you start connecting history, emotions that people have felt in the past, and connect it to emotions that you feel today. Why? Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Okay? So never shall I forget these things, even if I am condemned to live as long as God Himself. Never. Okay, so what is He saying with this? What is He saying? He's saying, hey, even if I get to live forever, what I'm experiencing, what I'm seeing with my own eyes, I'll never forget. Ever. So this is where you draw. What is He seeing? I mean, this paragraph doesn't go into detail. I mean, it shows the smoke and the flames, so you get a sense of what He's seen. But recall. Refer to all the things that you've been exposed to in the class already. What else is He seeing around Him? Think. List at least 3 things. What has He been exposed to in these camps? People being shot at? People being killed by gas chambers? Children starving? Excessive labor? This is where other materials comes into play. Because what I want you guys to see from this exercise is that, hey, it might be just one small paragraph, but that one small paragraph you're able to explain through other materials that you have been using or exposed during class. Okay? So remember, even though it's just a small paragraph, you can always synthesize everything that you have learned up until this point and expand on it. Expand on it. Okay? So I encourage you guys to do that, and thank you for watching.